B vitamins are essential, and we have a fantastic range of B vitamins. We need them for the body to function properly. We need them to help metabolise and take energy from the food that we eat. And because they are water soluble, they're very, very delicate, very, very fragile, and we lose the B vitamin out of our system in probably 4, 6 to 8 hours. So it needs to be replaced on a day-to-day basis.
It's packed full of nutrients. In fact, it's nature's most complete food. So in terms of a brilliant multivitamin, multi-mineral, jam-packed full of fantastic agents that our bodies need, it's brilliant.
Pollen is often called ambrosia, the food of the gods, because man can exist on pollen alone with enough fibre and water. It really is the equivalent of our multivitamin.
One of the additional benefits of bee pollen is that it can be very useful at the times when pollen is high. It can just naturally help to get the body to react normally to the pollen rather than having an excessive reaction.
In areas of maybe that people need to specifically take it is if people are suffering with nervous problems, poor skin, poor digestion, and are just generally very, very tired and low in energy. Those would be the areas that I would probably specify that people take it.
One of the benefits I received from bee pollen was certainly the increased energy levels, and that was always a primary factor for me.
When I started taking bee pollen, I took it for energy, but what I found was whenever the pollen count was high, I used to have like nasally sniffling or whatever, and it has never happened from I started taking bee pollen.
In my early teens, I started to develop some kind of reaction when the summer came along and the pollen count was high. And that lasted right the way through to my early 30s when I joined Forever. And it was at that point that I started taking the bee pollen, and I noticed that within probably 5 or 6 months, it was making a major difference to the way I felt. I didn't have a running nose anymore. My eyes weren't crying all the time. I didn't have a sore throat. And that's lasted right the way through until today. I don't have any problems at all now.
Since taking it, I have noticed a big difference. I take about 2 a day, and I don't have to have a nap with my daughter anymore. I can be awake all day without feeling tired.
I used to be very sensitive around cats, not just where a cat was, but also if I went into a room where a cat had been, my nose and eyes used to start running straight away. But again, since taking the bee pollen, I've noticed that I don't have that problem at all. In fact, I can have a cat on my lap, I can stroke it, and it doesn't annoy me or upset me in any way.
Having something there that would underpin my immune system was really important for me, and bee pollen did it, for sure.
I always carry some bee pollen with me, so if I'm feeling a little bit drowsy, I'll chew 2 or 3 tablets, and literally within the space of a few minutes, I'm just wide awake again because it's such a powerful energy food.